Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411, Lucky and Liz 25, Lucky Part 33. This week we are covering May 8th through June 15th, 2007. At the end of last week's episode, Jake was born and Lucky came in to Jason holding him, and Jason had to hand Jake over because Liz had decided and then had Jason agree to allow Lucky to believe that he is the father. And I mean, at this point, Jason doesn't have any reason to believe that he's not. Sam kind of has hinted at something, but enough for him to be like, wait, what? Oh, they're just really good friends. Yeah, it's a little weird how goo-goo they get sometimes, but he's not entirely aware of the fact that there's even another option for paternity.
Right. It just hit me now that they're redoing this storyline with Jason and Sasha, except for the fact that she's not lying about who it is, but the choice to have a different father step up as the father. Like, oh, yeah.
We talked about this. You knew this because we talked about the fact that he has practice with Michael and how ironic it is that now he's doing it with Michael's child. But, oh, yeah, he also did it with Jake. I guess Jason's just like the stand-in dad. You know, Dante gave him a lot of crap this week. Jason is the one that takes care of everybody else's. Okay, Jake is his son. So there's that. But he also took care of Jake by letting Lucky think, because at the time that Jake was born, Jason's business was dangerous. It's still is, but more dangerous. It's when we were in the height of Alcazar and all that stuff. Alcazar was running amok and all that craziness. But also, I think we've already seen it with last week where Jason and Sam are more in play. This week, definitely. And I think it's over the next few weeks where really there's not a really good way of separating out what is going on in Jason and Sam's lives also because of how it intertwines with Lucky and Liz. So just bear with us because sometimes there's things that just need to be said that you're like, this isn't Lucky and Liz, but it is. So Liz had fallen into unconsciousness again after having Jake, and she remains unconscious, and Lulu is overcome with worry. She confides in Spinelli, urging him to remind Jason of the promise he made to let Lucky raise the baby. Spinelli finds Jason on the hospital roof, congratulates him, and suggests he claim his son. Jason shares that he witnessed the birth, a moment that deeply moved him. Spinelli later hacks into the hospital system to add Jason to the list of approved nursery visitors. Though hesitant, Epiphany allows Jason to hold the baby, and he quietly vows to give his son the best life possible. Meanwhile, Lucky is distraught at Liz's bedside, supported by Nicholas, Emily, and Luke. After Nicholas leaves, Luke advises Lucky not to imagine a life without Liz, reminding him that staying hopeful is all he can do. Later, he confides his concerns to Tracy, who reassures him that Lucky has his father's strength to carry him through. Carly keeps Lulu company as they wait for updates. Lulu expresses guilt over how she treated Liz recently. Just remember, yep, Lulu knows the paternity but she never told Liz that she knew.
Right.
Okay. When Carly is confused, thinking they were close, Lulu deflects, blaming her doubts on Liz's support during Lucky's rehab. Dr. Lee informs Lucky that a hysterectomy might be needed. Lucky is devastated and says that he and Liz want to have more children. Kelly reminds him that Liz's survival must come first. As Lucky breaks down at Liz's side, Lulu watches silently, her heart breaking for her brother. Jason tells Spinelli he won't leave town and asks for updates. Spinelli hacks in again and finds Liz's condition is worsening. He arranges for Jason to see the baby on the monitor, but warns him that simply watching isn't the same as being a father. Spinelli insists Jason must come forward if Liz dies. Jason holds out hope, but Spinelli urges him to face reality. If Liz wakes up, no one will fault her, only be grateful. As Kelly tells Lucky that meds aren't working, he begins to lose hope. Lulu comforts him and reminds him of Liz's strength. Rick visits and offers a few quiet moments at Liz's bedside. Lucky acknowledges Jason's role in saving Liz and the baby, warning Rick not to stir up old grudges. Alone with Liz, Rick confesses to planting drugs in Lucky's desk saying he did it out of love and desperation. He begs her to survive so that he can believe in love again.
Ugh.
Okay, dude. Even if she wakes up, she is not getting back together with you.
Right, especially if she knows anything about the fact that you set Lucky up. So,
right. At the nursery, Lucky cradles his newborn, telling him his mommy will pick out his name. As he leaves, he runs into Spinelli, who awkwardly covers his slip-up about Lil Stone Cold. When Spinelli's hacking is discovered, he is removed from the nursery. Back with Dr. Lee, Lucky hears grim news. If Liz doesn't wake up soon, she may never recover. While Lucky insists Liz is stronger than that, Kelly urges him to face the medical realities. Elsewhere, Alexis and Nicholas talk. She notices that he looks unwell, and he reveals that he called her to update his will. After she leaves, Robin and Patrick tell Nicholas they found a formula for the counter agent. Nicholas wants to take it immediately, but they urge him to wait. I forget what all that was about. At a cafe, Coop and Maxie meet, but Coop is nervous about being seen. They're interrupted when Lulu rushes past, heading to Jason. She begs him not to reveal that he is the baby's father, saying that Lucky is doing well and deserves this. Jason says he doesn't want to hurt Lucky either, but he has to think like a father now. Lulu lashes out, regretting not telling the truth sooner. Jason stays focused on Liz's survival, but Lulu warns him that if Liz dies, revealing the truth will shatter Lucky. Rick interrupts, suspicious of Jason and Lulu's bond. He accuses Jason of loving Liz, saying Jason only slept with her because he couldn't stand Sam after she was with Rick. No, it had nothing to do with not being able to stand Sam. It had to do with, I walked in on my girlfriend sleeping with her stepdad.
ugh.
Although he and Alexis weren't married, but ex-stepdad? Okay.
It's still just ew.
Just as Rick exits, he overhears Spinelli mention a mysterious project. Afterward, Lulu and Spinelli have their first real clash. Spinelli says if Liz dies, the baby needs his real father. Lulu later sits beside Liz and pleads with her to wake up for Lucky, for the baby, for all of them. She warns that if Liz doesn't pull through, Jason will come forward and Lucky will be devastated. Outside the door, Lucky overhears everything.
Oof.
As Liz remains unconscious in the ICU, Lulu sits by her bedside, her emotions heavy. She speaks softly, admitting that she had no right to judge Liz and apologizing for her earlier harshness. She acknowledges how difficult it has been to carry the weight of Liz's secret. Keeping the truth from Lucky has taken a toll. When Lucky enters the room mid-conversation, Lulu freezes, afraid of what he has overheard. But it becomes quite clear he didn't, and she quickly covers, pretending she was simply voicing concern for him and Liz. Okay, so he probably just overheard Lulu in the room, like heard Lulu's voice, but not necessarily what she was saying.
Or he didn't want to let on yet. I can't remember how this went.
I can't remember either. I feel like it was one of those moments where he went to reach for the doorknob and then heard. And then, I mean, to be fair, Liz and Lucky have been having their problems because of his rehab and lack of rehab and relapsing and stuff like that. He also could have interpreted a lot of that short of Jason is the father.
Right.
You know, anything that Lulu might have been giving Liz a hard time for in regards to Lucky could have been interpreted as towards his drug addiction.
True.
Later, Dr. Lee delivers disappointing news to Lucky, Lulu, and Spinelli. Liz's condition remains critical, and the hospital can't keep the baby much longer. Oh, I guess if Lucky's healthy parent, they can't really keep the baby if the baby's also healthy.
Right.
While medically healthy, it's not good for the newborn to remain hospitalized without a parent. Lucky, however, refuses to bring his son home, not without Liz. He fears that if she wakes up and the baby is gone, she'll assume she lost him during childbirth. Dr. Lee tries to be compassionate, but stresses that they can't wait indefinitely. She agrees to extend the baby's stay for now, but pressure is mounting. Spinelli listens closely and quickly turns to Lulu, arguing that Jason needs to step in. He believes Lucky, overwhelmed with fear and grief, isn't making the best decisions for the child. Lulu fires back, insisting that Jason must honor his promise to Liz to let Lucky raise the baby. If Liz doesn't survive and Jason claims the baby, it will destroy Lucky, who's already hanging on by a thread. But Spinelli urges Lulu to see the child not as a reminder of her own abortion or Liz's betrayal, but as an innocent baby who needs someone to hold him now. He tells her the baby needs family, real family. Lulu eventually relents and goes to the neonatal unit. Their epiphany gives her a rare moment of softness, letting Spinelli enter on the condition he keeps quiet. Ooh, that's a hard one for Spinelli. Lulu picks up the baby, and as he smiles at her, something inside her shifts. She is overwhelmed with tenderness and starts to bond with him. For the first time, she stops seeing the baby as a complication and starts seeing him as a child who needs love. Meanwhile, Rick barges into Sunny and Jason's office, angry and suspicious. He warns Jason to stay away from Liz at the hospital, and Jason keeps his answers vague, revealing nothing. Suddenly, Spinelli appears on Jason's laptop, unknowingly broadcasting from the neonatal unit and updating Jason on his progeny.
Oof.
Though Rick doesn't catch the full message, he sees Jason's expression shift. Rick lunges for the laptop, trying to uncover the truth. Jason grabs it and hurls it at the wall just as Jason walks in, catching the tail end of the chaos. Rick, ever the opportunist, calls in officers to arrest Jason for assault. Sonny shuts it down, warning Rick to back off or risk public spectacle. Rick relents but warns Jason again, stay away from Liz. She's Lucky's wife. She has a family. Jason says nothing, but his silence speaks volumes.
Dun,
And just
dun,
keep in mind,
dun.
too, this is 2007. We were not Zooming at the time.
Right.
So for Spinelli to be zooming in, Jason, it was a big deal. Like, it was
Yes.
Wait, what? How did he do that?
Spinelli created Zoom. After Rick leaves, Sonny presses Jason about his failure to eliminate Alcazar. Jason confesses he felt something was wrong with Liz during the storm and followed his instincts, finding her alone, unconscious, and in need of help. Sonny warns that Jason is getting too emotionally entangled to do his job. Jason insists he can still handle business. He will deal with Alcazar when the time is right. Elsewhere, Skye plays a dangerous game. She tries to seduce Alcazar, hoping he'll reveal the location of their daughter, Lila. He sees through her and rebuffs her advances, assuring her Lila is safe, but won't give her access until he decides it's time. Skye pretends to accept his terms, but quickly goes to Sonny. Sonny assumes she's once again protecting Alcazar, but Skye surprises him. She wants Alcazar dead, after she gets her daughter back. She fears that if something happens to Alcazar before then, she may never find Lila. Sonny agrees for now. Back at the hospital, Spinelli updates Jason about the baby's looming discharge. Jason rushes over, fearing the worst, but it's the same dilemma. The baby needs to go home, and Lucky refuses. Spinelli believes Jason needs to take action for the baby's sake. Jason, torn, speaks to Epiphany, who reminds him of the importance of bonding for newborns. A baby without early connection may carry emotional scars for life. Meanwhile, Rick checks in with Lucky. They share an unexpectedly calm moment. Lucky confesses his refusal to bring the baby home, saying he just can't, not without Liz. Rick emphasizes sharing that Alexis had similar fears after Molly's birth. He tells Lucky he understands his needs to wait. Later, Jason sits with Liz, unsure what to do. He tells her that he's struggling to make the right choice and that she once again asked him to do what was best for their son if anything happened to her. Just then, Lucky walks in and demands to know why Jason is there. Jason says he came to check on Liz and mentions that the baby needs to go home. Lucky snaps, reminding Jason it's his son and none of Jason's business. But Jason doesn't back down. Quietly, he says, "It is my business," and prepares to tell Lucky the truth. Before he can, Liz begins to stir. It's a miracle at that exact right second. She murmurs Jason's name. Lucky rushes to her side as she regains consciousness. Disoriented, she asks what happened. Lucky gently explains there were complications, but she made it. She asks if the baby is okay. Lucky tells her yes, and that he fought to keep their son in the hospital so she could see him first. He says he wanted them to go home together as a family. Meanwhile, Sam is unraveling, watching from the sidelines. She struggles with the reality that Jason has a child with another woman. The man she loves, the future she thought she was building, it all feels like it's slipping away. Though she hides her pain behind silence and strength, the truth eats at her. The baby represents not only Jason's bond with Liz, but everything Sam has lost. As Elizabeth continues her slow recovery in the ICU, Lulu sits in the neonatal unit, gently feeding the baby. Isn't the neonatal unit when the baby's too little to go home? So why is he
Yeah,
still
so they
there?
would stay. They would be able to stay. Well,
Right.
Well, maybe it's because was he premature, or was it just because Liz kept having all of the pass outs and everything that they put him in the neonatal, being that mom was in the ICU?
I don't know, but I still would think that it's like a regular hospital. You would graduate from neonatal to just the regular baby nursery and then get to go home. Not go right.
Not jump right over.
I could be wrong.
Nursery.
Yes, I don't know. I was lucky enough to not have to deal with any of that with my kids, so I don't know. Maybe they do just graduate right from there.
As soon as you questioned it, I knew exactly where you were going, so I'm with you.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Spinelli, ever the observer, watches quietly before urging Lulu to come clean. He believes everyone deserves the truth. But Lulu pushes back, insisting that biology doesn't define fatherhood. Liz chose Lucky to raise this child, and Lucky will love him as his own. Spinelli disagrees, quietly but firmly. He believes Liz has asked too much of Jason, denying him the right to be a father to his own son. He even points out that the baby's eyes are the same shade of blue as Jason's. Lulu brushes it off, saying her mother has blue eyes too. She's confident no one will question the baby's paternity. I mean, almost all babies are born with blue eyes, so
Mine were gray until I was 2.
Oh, okay.
I wish I still had them.
Yeah, that's a cool color.
Like slate gray.
Their tense exchange is interrupted when Jason arrives. He quietly informs Epiphany that Liz is awake. She warns him that Spinelli has been poking around the hospital's computer system and tells Jason to put a stop to it. Jason delivers the message, then turns to Lulu and Spinelli and lets them know Liz is conscious. Lulu asks if Jason told Lucky the truth. He says no. She exhales with relief and thanks him before hurrying off to see her friend. Jason's phone buzzes. Sunny is calling. Before leaving, Jason warns Spinelli one last time to disengage from the baby's monitor feed. Spinelli hesitates but agrees. Jason leaves, weighed down by the secret he's still carrying. Lulu and Lucky soon visit the baby together. Epiphany shows Lucky how to burp the newborn, and he beams with pride. But in the background, Spinelli and Lulu resume their debate. She insists Lucky will be the devoted father the baby needs, while Spinelli can't shake the truth he knows. Jason is the boy's real father, and pretending otherwise is a dangerous lie. Meanwhile, Jason checks in with Sunny. When Jason mentions his visit to the hospital, Sunny presses him. Why is he so involved with a child that isn't his? Jason dodges, reminding Sunny he saved both Liz and the baby during the storm, but Sunny isn't satisfied. With Alcazar hiding baby Lila, he wants to wait before making a move. Jason thinks that's a mistake. He doesn't trust Sky's motives and would rather eliminate Lorenzo now. But Sunny is confident once Sky gets Lila back, she'll have nothing left to protect Lorenzo and may even help them take him down. Across town, Sky confronts Lorenzo over the nanny he hired. She insists the woman can't replace a mother and that Lila deserves better. Lorenzo assures her that he's making arrangements for Lila to return home and continues to push the image of them as a family. Sky allows herself to lean into the fantasy, but the tension in her eyes says otherwise. Back at the hospital, Liz is improving. Dr. Kelly Lee checks her vitals and clears her to see the baby. Overwhelmed with relief, Liz asks Lucky to bring him in. He returns with the baby in his arms, and Liz smiles as she watches them together. Lucky shares how the baby held onto his finger and wouldn't let go. Liz tenderly replies that the baby was holding on to his daddy. They talk about the future, building a happy life, and picking a name, something meaningful and strong. Lulu watches from the doorway unseen. Later, when she's alone, Jason quietly enters Liz's room. She thanks him, not just for saving her life, but for protecting their son. He tells her she doesn't owe him anything. The best way she can thank him is by healing and being there for her children. Liz asks if he almost told Lucky the truth when it seemed like she might not survive. Jason says no, but he admits he prayed she would pull through. Liz knows how hard it is for him to walk away, but she reassures him their son will grow up in a stable, loving home. Outside, Sam listens silently, her heart sinking. I don't know how she's promising a stable home whenever Lucky is still recovering from meds, but okay.
Right.
Later that
and you're not having his biological father involved.
Right. Later that night, Sam spirals, reeling from what she overheard. She drowns her grief at the Metro Court bar. Amelia is there and tries to offer support, but Sam can't hide the heartbreak. When Jason comes to pick her up, she's stunned he came himself and not Milo. She tries to make small talk about her premiere, and then, wounded and drunk, she slips. She bitterly asks if Jason wants to be with a star or the mother of his child. She catches herself and shifts blame to the pain of not being able to have children. Jason tries to guide her out, but she resists until Amelia steps in. Sam relents, saying she can't risk the show. It's the only thing she has left.
Oh, At home, Sam keeps drinking. She opens up about past losses, her daughter, her shattered relationships, and the future she'll never have. I don't feel like we ever had any concern that Sam was going to become an alcoholic like Alexis.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like this could have been that path.
Right.
The next day, Liz finally shares the name she has chosen, Jacob Martin. And now we have Martin, Laura's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Jake. She says Jacob feels strong, and Martin honors her maternal grandfather. So, wait, Hardy. Wouldn't Steve Hardy be her maternal grandfather? Because her last name's Weber.
I don't know.
Hold on. Well, now her last name is Baldwin. Her maternal grandfather. Oh, that'd be her mom's. Oh, and we don't know anything about her mom's. We don't know anything about her mom.
No, we don't know anything about her mom. Okay.
Sorry.
No, I was going to Laura's family too, and I'm like, what?
Well, no, I wasn't going Laura's. I just thought it was funny because like how we like to reuse names. Like we're going to have a Leo pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking, oh, isn't that funny that his middle name's Martin and now that's what.
When you have a Pixel 10, you may get asked a few questions, like, what is that? How did you do that? And can we use your camera instead? Ask more of your phone. Google Pixel 10.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax
I
covered.
meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Laura's long-lost brother's name is. Lucky is touched. In the hallway, Amelia peers in, eager to land an interview with Liz about the hostage crisis. Really? There were 24 people in that hostage crisis. You were going to go after the woman who just had a baby and continually passed in and came in and out of consciousness.
Right.
Cool. Liz declines. Her focus is on her family, not fame. Elsewhere, Spinelli tracks down Jason to tell him the baby's name, Jacob Martin. The same initials as Jason Morgan. The same number of letters. Coincidence? He doesn't think so. He's still wrestling with Liz's decision to hide the truth, but Jason stands firm. Liz and the baby need to feel safe, and that's all that matters. Spinelli is reluctantly silenced, but upstairs, Sam has heard everything. She comes down, shaken but composed, and asks what happened. Jason gently explains that she got drunk while celebrating. She asks if she embarrassed him, and he says no. She leans into him, saying she never has to worry when she's with him. But behind her words is a woman grasping for something already slipping through her fingers. When Emily and Nicholas visit, Liz asks them to be Jake's godparents. They accept and everyone agrees not to ask Lulu, worried she might feel excluded. So you're agreeing to not ask her because you're worried that she'd be excluded?
Right.
Okay. Liz glows with gratitude, while Lucky quietly vows to learn from his father's mistakes and be the father his boys deserve. I love that it says boys. I was going to say, I'm like, because he definitely was a dad to Cameron, you know?
Yeah.
At home, Sam's pain festers. She dreams of holding baby Jake, only to be screamed at by Liz demanding her child back. She wakes up shaken. Jason gently encourages her to talk about it, but Sam brushes it off. Though she tries to connect with him, it's clear the growing distance is taking a toll. At the studio, Amelia confronts Sam, pressing about what she said the night before. Sam confesses the truth. Jason is Jake's father. She explains that Jason only learned the truth after the hostage crisis, but by then, Alan had died. She learned she couldn't have children, and Liz decided it was safer for Lucky to raise the baby. Amelia doesn't understand why Jason isn't fighting for his son. Sam says he believes protecting Jake means walking away. Still hurting, Sam watches Liz and Lucky through the hospital glass as they cradle baby Jake. Epiphany urges her to visit, and Lucky warmly invites her in. Liz, clearly uncomfortable, allows Sam to hold the baby. Sam grows emotional, quietly commenting on his blue eyes. Lucky casually says that the baby must have inherited them from his mother, Laura. Both Sam and Liz offer faint, knowing smiles, masking the truth that they share. Later, Sam confronts Amelia for pressuring Liz to appear on the show. Amelia defends herself, but Sam makes it clear putting Jake on camera, knowing who the real father is, would be cruel. She storms off, still simmering. Meanwhile, Liz tells Jason that she gave the baby his initials, JM, as a small gesture of love. Again, this is like giving him multiple sonograms.
Right.
When he seriously said, stop.
Right.
Jason is moved but says nothing. His silence growing heavier with each visit. When Liz mentions she's worried Sam might target Jake if she learns the truth, Jason begins to realize just how much this lie is costing them both. Emily gently urges Liz to let Jason be part of Jake's life, knowing how much he loves children. Liz deflects, saying she has to protect her family. Even Epiphany, while checking Liz out of the hospital, drops a subtle hint that she knows the truth but won't interfere. Who you choose to raise that baby with is your business. And I can hear Epiphany saying it.
Mm-hmm.
As Lucky brings Cameron to meet his new brother, the family heads home, but the tension surrounding the secret remains. At the coffee house, Jason is caught off guard when he sees Sam with Liz and Jake. Though Sam wants to confront him, she holds back, hurt that he continues to lie. Later, she tells Amelia she wants Jason to be honest so they can fight for shared custody. At home, she plans a romantic dinner to reconnect, but when Spinelli interrupts, Sam lashes out and storms off. Jason reassures Spinelli he's welcome to stay, but it's clear everything around him is beginning to unravel. At Kelly's, Lucky, Liz, Emily, and Nicholas meet to discuss the upcoming hearing and their concern for Lulu. Everyone's worried about how the truth might impact her. The truth about what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does it have something to do with Laura? Hold on. Liz volunteers to distract Laura. Yeah, it is. Liz volunteers to distract Lulu and protect her from what's happening in court by asking her to help with the baby. It's a small act, but it speaks volumes about Liz's instinct to nurture and shield the people she cares about, even when she's caught in her own emotional storm. Meanwhile, Sam is also at Kelly's with Amelia, revealing her plan to take Jason on a casual picnic, strategically timed to cross paths with Liz and the boys. She openly admits her real motive, to force Jason to confront the truth about the baby. Amelia pushes back, asking if Sam truly believes she and Jason could raise the child together. Sam doesn't answer directly, but it's clear she's hoping the truth will finally tip the scales in her favor. Later at the park, Liz meets Lulu as planned, but Lulu quickly realizes the setup is to keep her from the hearing. Liz covers, saying she simply wants to mend things between them. Lulu listens, but questions Liz's devotion to Lucky, asking if she's really invested in the marriage as he is. Liz responds honestly, telling her that she loves Lucky just as much now, maybe more than ever, and that she's doing all she can to keep their family grounded. She gently urges Lulu to stay away from the courthouse and let them carry the burden of truth. As fate would have it, Jason and Sam arrive at the park and see Liz with the boys. Sam pushes to sit down and chat, but Liz quickly says the boys need their nap and tries to leave. When Sam asks to hold Jake, the baby begins to cry and only calms once Jason takes him into his arms. The moment stings. Sam sees how natural Jason is with the baby, and Jason grows suspicious when she mentions it. When he confronts her, Sam admits that she overheard Liz saying she'd be at the park. Jason, upset, reminds her that Liz is still reeling from being pressured into doing Sam's show. That pushes Sam over the edge. Angry that he always defends Liz, she storms off and later vents to Amelia, questioning why she kept holding on to something that may never be hers. Amelia warns her Jason will never take that child from Liz, but Sam insists she won't live with a man who's keeping that kind of a secret from her. I am not a fan of lying. I feel like if Sam hadn't just gone through everything she did with finding out she wasn't going to be able to have children and stuff like that, I feel like he would probably have told her.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Back at the courthouse, Jason does not make decisions without really considering all sides.
Right.
Back at the courthouse, Lucky updates Liz on the messy drama in the court. He pleads with her to never keep secrets from him, especially ones involving their children, because he knows how easily secrets can destroy the life they're fighting for. He also confesses he's worried over Lulu and whether she'll ever look at her father the same again, knowing firsthand how the truth can alter everything. Lulu, still processing Luke's past, turns up at Lucky and Liz's. Liz opens up about her own trauma, being raped at 15, and how it helped Lucky eventually forgive Luke after learning about what happened with Laura. Lulu sits in silence, but she's too overwhelmed. When Lucky arrives home and asks if she's okay, she simply tells them to leave her alone and walks away, emotionally checked out. Okay, so I think this had something to do. Oh, this was the Rick Weber. Wasn't this Rick Weber being murdered?
Yes.
And Lulu didn't know yet that Luke had raped Laura, and that was going to be coming out in the trial.
Yes.
Okay, this is why we were worried about Lulu. Okay, had nothing to do with her actually being a godparent.
All right. Meanwhile, the tension between Jason and Sam hits another breaking point. Sam brings up the idea of using a surrogate, desperate to have a child with Jason. But Jason shuts it down, not out of cruelty, but fear and guilt. Sam accuses him of being selfish and leaves once again. Later, Sonny tries to pry the truth out of Spinelli, even threatening him, desperate to understand what's eating Jason alive. Jason arrives just in time to protect Spinelli and send him home, but afterwards he admits the truth to his friend. He hasn't told Sonny about Jake because he knows Sonny would tell him to fight for custody, and Jason can't do that, not if it puts the baby or Liz in danger. Sam, still demanding to have a child, consults Kelly about in vitro and surrogacy options. She then tells Amelia that she's going to be a mother, whether Jason is on board or not. If Liz and Lucky can have Jake, then she and Jason can have their own child. Amelia listens quietly, but questions whether another baby would heal what's broken inside Sam, especially after losing her own daughter. In the case against Jason, as the case begins against Jason, no, I can't read. As the case against Jason begins to build, Rick manipulates Lucky into arresting him for Lorenzo Alcazar's murder. Lucky hesitates not out of loyalty to Jason, but out of guilt. Still, he goes through with it. After Jake's checkup, Lucky meets Liz at the hospital. He thanks her for giving him the gift of fatherhood, saying being Jake's dad is the most meaningful thing in his life. But moments later, things take a turn. At the coffee house, Liz runs into Jason and lets him hold Jake while she gets coffee. She doesn't have a stroller or car seat she can put him down in.
Right.
Jason's bond with the baby is instant and undeniable. Jake immediately calms in his arms. But when Lucky walks in, his emotions boil over. He demands Jason hand over the baby, and despite Liz's protests, arrests Jason on the spot. Liz pleads for Lucky to let Jason turn himself in quietly, but Lucky insists on doing it by the book. At the station, Rick smugly reveals the evidence he claims proves Jason killed Alcazar. As Lucky leaves the room, he unknowingly drops something. Jake picks it up. It's a photo of Liz and Jake.
Jason picks it up.
Sorry, Jason picks it up. How do they already have a picture? But okay. Back at home.
Maybe it was a Polaroid. Maybe it was from the hospital.
Do you carry Polaroids in your wallet? That's odd.
I don't know.
Okay. Back at home.
You asked a question.
Back at home, Liz is furious. She can't believe Lucky was the one to make the arrest after everything Jason has done for their family. Jason sits alone in the holding cell, weighed down not just by the murder charge, but by everything he's been forced to carry in silence. Sam returns to home to find Jason sitting in the dark. She apologizes for earlier, softening as she admits her anger isn't really about him. It's about fate. She tells him she believes in them and she's not giving up. She climbs onto his lap and whispers that she loves him. But even in that moment, neither of them speak the truth that hangs between them. Liz is livid after discovering that Lucky arrested Jason for murder, no less, and right in front of her and their baby. She accuses him of crossing a line, of using his badge as a weapon in their personal life. Lucky insists he was just doing his job, but Liz isn't moved. She makes it clear Jason has every right to be a part of Jake's life. Lucky's response is cold, almost cruel, as he reminds her that unless she's planning prison visits, Jason may never get that chance. Emily stops by to check on Liz, only to find herself caught in the tension. When Liz tells her about Jason's arrest, Emily tries to justify Lucky's actions, but she also calls out the undercurrent Liz refuses to name, her lingering feelings for Jason. Emily tells Liz she's not being fair to anyone. Liz insists she's committed to Lucky and their family, but there's doubt in her voice. Later, Lucky brings home flowers and the two exchange apologies, but the tenderness is thin, more habit than healing. Meanwhile, Jason sits in a jail cell as Carly bribes the guards with MetroCorp food just to bring him breakfast. She's ready to go to war for him, even suggesting Lucky owes him for saving Liz and the baby. Jason shuts that down immediately. He wants no part in dragging Lucky deeper into this. He's calm, measured, but there's pain behind his eyes. Rick, however, is anything but calm. He barrels into the station to grill Carly about her last conversation with Alcazar. Carly deflects, claiming she was just asking about Mr. Craig before or after she knew he was Jerry. Rick drops the bomb. He doesn't need a body. He has something better. Spinelli soon arrives armed with a plan. He's planted a virus that could break Jason out. Jason demands he backs off and deletes it. Rick tries to corner Spinelli next, threatening accessory charges and demanding he turn over his laptop. Spinelli pretends to cave, handing over a decoy and putting on a show of panic. Once Rick leaves, he assures Jason the real laptop is safe and there's no traceable evidence about Jake's paternity or Alcazar's murder. Jason's relief is quiet but clear. As this unfolds, Liz visits Jason in jail. Their conversation is short and heartfelt. She tells him she's sorry he was arrested. He tells her he still believes giving Jake a normal life was the right decision, even if that means being a stranger. Their moment is brief but loaded with everything they can't say. Outside the room, Lucky finds out Liz is with Jason. He confronts her, hurt and furious. She says she only came because her grandmother offered to watch the kids and she wanted to check on Jason. Lucky's anger deepens. He needed her at the courthouse. Scott won guardianship and he stood there alone. Liz, shaken, is left wondering if she's broken something she can't fix. Back in Port Charles, Sam returns from New York after a TV shoot, telling Amelia she wants to explore surrogacy to have a child with Jason. But a visit to Dr. Lee brings only more uncertainty. The test results are inconclusive. Before she can make sense of it, Rick appears and tells her about Jason's arrest. Shocked and hurt that Jason never called her, Sam rushes to see him. When she arrives, the guard, who happens to be a fan of her show, lets her in. She hugs Jason tightly, asking if he's okay, her voice trembling with everything she doesn't understand about the man she loves. Amelia, meanwhile, continues her secret investigation into Sam. Back at Sunny's office, she arrives early and takes a call from her assistant. There's new dirt on Sam's criminal past. Just as she tries to hide the file, Sunny walks in. After a repeat of their now familiar physical tension, Sunny finds the folder and catches a glimpse of its content. Pictures, reports, proof of a woman he thought he knew. He asks Amelia why she has this, but she's left speechless. And as Sunny stands over the folder, Jason behind bars, Liz torn between the truth and loyalty, and Sam clutching to whatever's left of the life she thought she was building, a storm is gathering, and no one is safe from what's coming next.
Liz and Lucky's already fragile relationship grows more strained as they try to navigate the emotional aftermath of Jason's arrest. Elsewhere, Spinelli has a quiet moment of relief when he helps Mike fix the blender, and Cameron gets to enjoy a smoothie, providing a brief distraction from the heavy atmosphere surrounding them. Yet, even as these small, simple moments can't fully mask the unease that looms over everyone, the tension in the group is palpable, and though Logan, Lulu, and Spinelli have managed to reconcile, the undercurrent of uncertainty continues to affect their interactions, particularly when it comes to Jason's looming trial. Sam, emotionally frail after her difficult visit to Jason, seeks solace with Amelia. She confides in her about how deep the hurt she feels from Jason's decision not to contact her about his arrest. For Sam, the silence only deepens the emotional distance between them. Rick attempts to taunt her with reference to her past, but only adds to Sam's confusion. And though Jason doesn't respond to Rick's provocations, Sam can't help but feel more isolated. Amelia suggests that perhaps the real issue is Jason's secret about the baby, something that Sam has been trying to ignore but can no longer deny. The realization that Jason has kept the truth from her begins to sink in, but Sam struggles to reconcile this with her growing feelings of betrayal. Meanwhile, Spinelli's interactions with Jake don't go unnoticed by Lucky, who immediately confronts him, demanding that he stay away from his son. Spinelli, startled by the intensity of Lucky's warning, reassures him that he meant no harm. Lucky's protective instincts are on high alert, especially given the emotional upheaval in his marriage. Things take another dark turn when Jason, aware that the stakes are growing higher, asks Amelia to meet him in the interrogation room. He's desperate for answers, but what Amelia reveals shocks him to the core. She plans to take revenge on Sam for her father's death. Jason, though internally conflicted, refuses to allow Amelia to follow through with her plan. In a twist, Amelia reveals that Sam already knows the truth about the baby's paternity, and Jason feels the weight of this revelation settle heavily on his shoulders. Sam is still struggling with the emotional fallout from her visit to Jason, and the constant reminder of what she's lost turns to work for her distraction. During a heart-wrenching interview with a woman who recently lost her child in a fire, Sam becomes visibly emotional, feeling a deep connection to the woman's pain. After the camera stops rolling, the woman breaks down, confessing that she can't help but resent other mothers who still have their children. Sam, deeply affected by her words, speaks from her own experience, sharing the painful truth that while the grief may fade over time, the emptiness never fully goes away. But as the woman runs off in tears, Sam feels consumed by a new layer of bitterness. The one thing she desperately wants, a child with Jason, feels more unattainable than ever. Amelia, ever the manipulator, exploits Sam's emotions, further driving a wedge between her and Jason. She points out that Liz, the woman Sam resents, has everything that Sam wants, her own family with Jason. The suggestion eats away at Sam, pushing her deep into her isolation. Amelia feeds this resentment, suggesting that Sam should take action, but Sam, already reeling, doesn't know how to respond. She wishes she could change the past, could erase the fact that Jake exists at all, though she knows that's impossible. This growing frustration over losing Jason, both emotionally and physically, intensifies, and Sam can't help but feel as though she's slipping away from him. At the police station, Sunny arrives, hoping to convince Jason that being a part of Jake's life is in both of their best interests. Jason, however, remains firm in his decision, insisting that Jake would be better off in a home without the constant threat of violence. Sunny, seeing through Jason's resolve, quickly realizes that the only reason Jason is letting things unfold this way is because of Liz's request. Sunny presses him further, asking how Sam feels about the situation. Jason, still in denial, refuses to admit the depth of the rift between them. He believes in the decision he made, but Sunny is quick to point out that he doesn't think Sam is the person Jason believes her to be. After their conversation, Sunny leaves, not before planting the seeds of doubt in Jason's mind about his relationship with Sam and his choices regarding Jake. Diane, who has been tirelessly working on Jason's case, enters the room next. She initially brings hope, informing Jason that she's requested bail and there's a chance he could be released soon. But that hope is quickly dashed when the mayor denies her request, leaving Jason to face yet another long night in jail. Diane is disappointed, and Jason's frustration with his situation continues to mount. Sam, unable to stop thinking of Jason's son, confides in Amelia again, telling her that she can't shake the obsessive feeling that she needs to do something about it. Her thoughts are consumed with jealousy and resentment, especially towards Liz, who has what Sam wants most, her child with Jason. Amelia, always ready to exploit Sam's emotions, subtly encourages this mindset, reminding Sam that she has every right to fight for what she wants. Sam is torn between her desires and the hurt that she feels, struggles with the idea of taking drastic action. Despite everything, Liz feels blessed and grateful for the second chance they've been given as a family, especially after Jason saved Jake's life. She opens up to Lucky, expressing how thankful she is for their little boy and the life they've built together. In the depths of her heart, there's an undeniable sorrow, painful reality that Jason is locked away, unable to be part of their son's life. Lucky, sensing her vulnerability, offers comfort, and the two share a tender kiss, briefly rekindling the bond that has been strained by events. With emotions raw, Liz decides to take the boys to the park, hoping the fresh air and time outdoors will bring some peace amidst the storm. Later, Lucky asks Lulu to come by the house to help celebrate Father's Day. Meanwhile, Liz is at the park with the boys. She puts Jake in his stroller to help Cameron with his shoelaces, but when she turns around, the stroller is gone. Panic sets in as Liz frantically searches for Jake, only to find out that he has vanished. Park security questions Liz and immediately notifies the authorities. In a state of shock, Liz calls Lucky, her voice filled with dread. Lulu, upon hearing the news, rushes to take Cameron to Audrey's and assures Liz she'll call Nicholas, Emily, and Bobby for help. The sense of fear and urgency grows as Liz's worst nightmare begins to unfold. Her son is missing.
I hope she gets him back.
Me too.
I think it was crappy that Sunny was telling Jason about Sam in a negative light. You liked her well enough to date her and make a baby with her, but now that Jason's with her, you're going to be like, oh, she's not the person you thought she was.
Right. Not cool.
No.
But yeah, so that's where we're stopping. Jake has just been kidnapped.
Yikes.
Yep. I guess join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy? No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.